Welcome back to Second Kick Moto and Auto. Today I'm going to try this for the first time. I'm actually going to try and polish up the forks on the Aero like a polished aluminum piece. Right now they're just in stock form. They're decently clean. There's a little bit of pitting. I'm also going to be hitting up these running boards. I've peeled the rubbers off of them. To start off, when we get going here, I'm actually just going to take an SOS pad, dip it in some water, and I'm just going to clean anything I can. I'm going to hit the running boards as well. So then we're going to get into 800 grit wet dry sand. We're going to get into 1,000 grit wet dry sandpaper, 2,000, then finally 3,000 with a polish on top. I might throw in some stainless, not stainless, I might throw in some fine Scotch-Brite as well, but we'll have to see. I'll see how everything turns out as I go along. I hope I don't need to do that. So first thing I'm going to be doing is just giving them a nice cleaning. I did pull everything off the forks that I could, and it is nice to have everything off, and you can actually spin the fork around as you do this. It's a lot easier than trying to fit your hand around. And then I've just got some water I'm going to use for the wet sand that I'll just give it a wipe down. I'm not going to get too thorough on the wipe down because we're going to go right to sanding. But try and get all the dirt and grime cleaned off that you can. I ran some tape around the top just so you don't scratch the dust covers. Now on this bike, when it comes down, I think the forks, the upper covers go to about here. So you won't really see it, but it's nice to keep in that habit. Once again, this is just the cleaning process. I can actually see this is sort of a Scotch-Brite itself in the SOS pad, and I can see it's cleaning it up quite a bit. Just getting some of the oxidation out of the surface. I'm going to get in good around where your brake mounts are and stuff. This side's not nearly as bad because I don't have extra brackets for brakes. You can see there's some pitting on the inside of the fork, but the sanding should take that away. I'm really hoping these come up in a high polish. As far as these running boards or floorboards go, I don't think they were ever a high polish to begin with. But they do look like a piece of billet, so they should come up really nice. Obviously the front fender and everything's off at paint right now, so this is a good time to be doing this. So I'm going to grab a rag. Dip it in a little water and give this a wipe down to get some of the soapy off of it. As we get into the sanding, I'll bring you guys in for closer looks. Okay, so now we're going to get into the sanding. So our steps with our sanding is 800, 1000, 2000, and 3000. This is if you want to bring up that really nice high polish look. So we're going to start with 800. I'm actually going to pull a sheet out and I'm going to cut it up. I'm not using a sanding block, but what I've actually got is a basically a kitchen sponge, because it'll form to the shape of the fork a little more. And that should work a little better. So here I've got my 800. And I'm going to be cutting in and out of this video, guys. Just because I don't need you sitting here watching me sand and sand and sand. Fold that in half again. So they say when you're doing this, basically sand until you feel like the sandpaper's not doing anything anymore, and then it's time to go to the next step. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll come back when I'm done with this. Okay, so this is the 800, and I've only done the one fork so you can see the difference. I had marks like this all over it, and they're gone now. It takes some elbow grease and takes some patience, but I'm probably going to actually go over it a little bit more here before I move to the next. And I did the running board. Obviously, I'm not doing inside of it. I will clean inside of it before I put the rubber back in, but I'm just doing the outside edge and the bottom. I don't know if we can compare it to this side. Yeah, that's that side. It's a little dirtier. So I'm going to finish up with the 800, and then we're going to move to the 1000. Okay guys, this is the end of the 800, and yeah, you can see that it's scratched, but it's supposed to be, so don't worry. This may be too much for your average person at home. If you don't want to try this, then don't. Know that you're going to put some time into this, and we're going to move on to the 1000 next. It's the same starting procedure. Get it wet, start working it, and you'll see the change in the forks, and keep working it until you're happy. I'll come in at the end of this because my battery's dying on my camera here, so I'm going to have to charge it. So when I come back, I'll have the 1000 grit done. Okay, so I'm done with the 1000, and I hope you can see the difference, because I sure can. Wow, and you can actually feel with the 1000 from the 800 the difference and when it actually wears out. Steps, like I said, they were kind of just bleached, so you're not seeing a huge difference in them, but that's still got some dirt on it and whatnot, but that all cleans off. Looking really, really good. So next step, I'll be starting the 2000, and I'll come back to you as the 2000's finishing up, and then we'll see what we're going to do after that. Okay, I don't know if the camera will pick this up as well as I can see it, but this is 2000 and that's 1000, and it's actually, I mean, there's dirt on there even, but it is starting to shine up, and you can see it as you're sanding it. This is the beginning of the polish process, but like this is smooth, but this is even better. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 3000 after this, and we're going to see how this looks. I'm doing the steps as I go along as well, the running boards or floorboards, whatever you want to call them. and I'll come back to you in a little bit. Okay guys, we're about hour and a half into this. As you can see by the edge of the running board, it's getting better, or floorboards. And the camera's showing this differently than I see it. It'll look scratched, but it's not. Obviously your forks come with sort of a cross, I guess it's the way they're machined when they're made. So it's sort of horizontal lines from the machining. That's there unless you like really go to town with heavy sanding at the beginning with a coarse grit, and then you have to keep working your way back out. Not necessary. When these are finally done and polished, you'll barely even see that. This is looking actually way better in person than the camera shows it. So next step is going to go to the 3000. I'm going to try the 3000, see if I can't just finish it up that little bit nicer. I did change my water out. I've drank half a beer. I'm going to finish that. After the 3000, we're going to use some Autosol metal polish on it. Pulls up the aluminum and takes any oxidation out of it, and hopefully that should bring it up to pretty close to high polish. So I'm going to get the 3000 out and get to work, and I will see you guys real soon. Okay, so here we are at the end of the actual sanding. This is the 3000, which should be on a DA sander. I mean, you can do a lot of this with if you've got a slow spinning drill or sander, and you can go around with actual sandpaper on the end. For these, I didn't want to do that just because they're so round. I felt like you'd be leaving like flat spots and marks. So man, I wish I could catch these. There's a little better angle and you can see how shiny they are. And we haven't polished yet, so we're going to go to polish. We're going to see how the polish brings these up. As you can see, the mess around my shop here from all of this, less the extension cord. And now is the time to be doing this while the bike's apart. I'm going to be going over everything, cleaning the frame. There's little rusty parts that need to be cleaned up, maybe touched up. I've got a cover for, see if I can do this without getting my beer bottle in here, right here, that goes over all of that, plus the side cover. I'll be going through all of this and cleaning it up before I start actually reassembling the bike. So now's the time to get this all dirty and then clean it up before you start putting your nice parts back on. I had weird mirrors, if you saw in the release video, and then these are the stock mirrors I haven't tightened up, but I've gone ahead and ordered a different set of mirrors, so they're coming off. And I did take the windshield off for now, just to get it out of the way. So let's get back to the polishing. Polishing with Autosol, rub it in, it's a white cream, it'll turn black. When it turns black, that means it's polishing and pulling oxidation out of the aluminum. And you don't want to leave it too long, but let it sit for a minute and then buff it off. And then I actually clean it off with one rag and then go in and buff it again with a second, and you get a really good result. So I'll show you that. All right, see you soon, guys. Okay, so I've applied the Autosol and I've rubbed it in. I haven't even begun to take it off, and it looks really good already. So this is just taking it off. And this is the first. Then I'll go over it with another clean one. Yeah, now the camera's picking up what's going on here. See if I can set you guys down. Actually, I'll spin the camera around. There we go. Let me get the stand set up. Sorry, guys. Get on that pod. Okay. actually feel this stuff. It's tacky as you rub it down. Wow. I'll pull you in so you can see this again once I get it all cleaned off. Wow. And even again, after this is done, you give it a nice little soapy wash. And it might even pull a little more out, but this is a mirror finish now. What a difference. I'm just going to clean up the running board, because I got a little auto sol on it, and see what it does there. Running boards are a little disappointing. I thought they'd clean up a little better than they are, but they still came up. Oh yeah. It's better than I expected after I've been sanding them, not getting a ton of results out of it. Just need a little polish. Oh yeah, that's coming up decent. Wow, nice. Okay. So I'm going to switch you around, Ari. Not bad. And it still needs another little quick buffing over with a drier rag. It's the forks. Look at that. Wow. So that's the difference. There's 3000 without polish. And there's 3000 with polish. Very, very nice. Not perfect up here, but my forks, when they settle, are down over here. So that'll be hidden unless I'm going over a bump and catching air. Something I might come back and visit again in the winter, but we're in 2.5 hours now, so I got to get nightly stuff done before I go to work tomorrow. But yeah, very nice. I'll come back again after I'm completely done here with everything polished up, and we'll have another look. Okay, so this is a wrap on this video, guys. I got the rubbers back in. They're just like a Harley, where they just click through the bottom, just pull little tabs through. Same to take them off, squeeze them and push them up through, but that came up better. I might hit those with another coat one day, but good enough for today. Look at the forks. They're beautiful. I've put everything back together again so I don't lose bolts. And I am going to be obviously giving all this stuff a good clean up before the bike goes back together, but that's another day. We're 3 hours into the garage time today. So, yeah, that's it, guys. But once that's polished up and I get all the brakes cleaned up and that, wow, this front end's going to look amazing. You know, the chrome on the fender, a nice shiny new painted fender, and this bike is going to be so beautiful when it's done. I can't believe I've got a nice Harley, but I'm bubbly over this Honda. Just they're a nice bike to begin with, and when I'm done with this, it's going to be a show quality bike, I hope. So hey, I hope this video, I know I didn't show a lot of it, but you got the idea of what to do here. And if it did, please give me a thumbs up. Even if you just liked what the end result was, I appreciate that. Once again, I laugh at the thumbs down. I don't care. Nobody's going to hurt my feelings. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you'd like to know immediately when I put up more content, please tap that bell. Cheers. Thanks for watching, guys.